we're like, oh, hang on.
I know. Every week I'm like, no, I'll get it this week. I do the same thing every week, and then I do the same thing every week. I never know if we're live or not.
All right, now we definitely are live. So that's a win. And today's topic is
how to know when you need a vacation.
Yeah. So we thought this was pretty relevant with the whole summer vacation theme we've been focusing on a lot lately. And as a grown-up, you have to decide when your own summer vacation is. The end of the school year does not define it for you. So what are some ways you can kind of keep an eye on that when you know, okay, it's time for me to, take a couple days off, turn it off and back on, so to speak, and come back refreshed?
I think that may have been an IT crowd reference. If so, I appreciate it.
It was. I was trying. I'm making an effort.
I follow.
All right. Well, for me, I know it's time to take time off when I start work and I already start feeling tired, like before lunch. Because usually I'm pretty jazzed about different projects. It's pretty easy for me to stay pepped throughout the day. So if I hit my lunch break and I'm like, oh, I think I need a nap, that's like really clear warning sign for me where it's like, all right, it's time to like take a week to just focus on catching up on those naps and then come back better.
Yeah, I do a similar thing. Like if I'm doing a normal amount of work, but it feels like I've got so much extra work, but I'm like, this is exactly what I did yesterday. Probably time for a break.
I think a big thing is like when you no longer look forward to going to work, when you no longer like, man, I'm really excited to do this or do that. When obviously you're not going to like love every single day. Like that's to be expected. But when you have a week or 2 whole weeks where you're not really stoked on any of the days, then you're like, maybe I need a day. Maybe I need 2 days. Maybe I need a week.
And I think your body and brain let you know. Like you can kind of almost like physically feel when you need a break. Like you might like feel like tensed up and you're sore, or like you have just like fog in your head. Like you just need to not have anything on your mind for a little bit.
Well, it depends on how well you have yourself trained to ignore it, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
Say that's assuming you're already pretty embodied and in tune with that. But
yeah, I mean, if there's also get professional help if you need. But
correct.
With that being said, like if whatever your current like normal level of normalcy is, like you can, I think, try to gauge that.
Yeah, you can try.
And if you're not in tune with that, I think John's idea is really good about that. If you're like dreading going to work, like if you're feeling the Sunday scaries every week and you're like, I don't want it to be Monday. That's a good sign that maybe Monday needs to not be a Monday and you need to just take a break and take a few extra days.
Yeah, like more if the condition is more advanced, like you might, find yourself being unusually or unnecessarily crabby for no reason at your partner or your cat or your coworker or just whoever. And, kind of that feeling of where did that come from? Maybe this is where that came from.
Yeah. Noticing that you're getting a little bit more snippy.
Yeah.
Is definitely a key one. Like I am a kind person, but that was not a kind comment. I need to do some soul searching there.
Yeah. And you want to nip that while it's mild. You don't want to let that keep running.
Absolutely. So once you're noticing these signs, okay, it's time for me to take some time off, whether that's, just an extra day tacked on a weekend or something a bit longer. How do you take that time to fully disconnect from work while you're taking time off and actually make it restful? Because I know, at least for me, there's definitely that temptation to be like, oh, I have time off. I can like do a bunch of landscaping projects and, like you start to fill it with other productive things, but that's not what it's for. It's for rest.
Yeah, that's really hard to do. Like I'm always tempted to like work on other creative projects when I'm not working. And like, I always like get so stressed out about things that like don't matter really.
One thing I would probably say is turn off all of the notifications on your phone, not just the work related ones.
Yeah.
Maybe not even touch your phone that day. Or
what were you gonna say, John?
I'd say it's super easy to look forward to taking time off so that you can work on other things and be like, well, I'm really excited to work on or blank, on my day off, or I finally can get to this. I've been needing to get to it for a while. But it's even more important to like actually take rest and like take care of yourself. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you have time to knock out those creative projects and those fun things to do. And so You know, if you have a creative project or something fun, or maybe something that's more work intensive that you want to do, like maybe take 2 days off instead of just taking one, and give yourself, that first day to work on that creative project, and then that second day, to take off.
Yeah, and give yourself time for both.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it is one day, maybe say, okay, I'm excited to work on that project, but I'm going to save that for the afternoon, and I'm going to take the morning and wake up slow, have coffee or tea in bed, and take it slow, so that you can get both of those benefits. Because there's a place for both, but maybe it's just me, but I have a much harder time actually sitting still and doing that type of rest than coming up with fun creative projects to do. That is much less natural to me.
A really big thing for me is I like that. I find it hard to sit still. So it's something that I need to convince myself that, hey, sitting still is productive because I'm getting rest. It's like I am actually being productive and being efficient and being smart by not doing anything. And you got to convince yourself that, so that you view your rest time as something that's really productive. Because I'm someone, I always want to go and go and go and go.
Yeah, doing nothing is doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is very productive in its own way.
If you really, really struggle with that, a strategy that I have been using recently that has been very helpful is using the sunken cost fallacy to my advantage, which sounds really silly because it's literally a logical fallacy. Like, it's usually not a good thing. But if I spend, like 20 minutes saying, okay, I'm going to make this really nice mocktail or coffee drink, and I'm going to light a candle, I'm going to get a nice, clean, fresh throw blanket, and you really set the stage for yourself to rest. Or, the night before, be like, I'm going to turn off all of my alarms, I'm going to put up blackout curtains. That sunken cost feeling of like, I put so much work into this, I don't want to waste it, can be a helpful extra motivator to actually take the rest that you need, if that's something that's hard for you.
Huh.
That's really good. That's a good tip.
It is very effective in my experience. And yeah, that's just a big one, is set the stage for your own rest.
Get in that mind state, kind of fake it till you make it.
Create the environment, light the candle, do whatever you got to do to make it really feel like rest. And kind of on what Leah said, don't let anything interrupt that. So I actually go a step beyond notifications. I just delete the apps from my phone. Gmail, Slack, all of it. Any app that I use more for work than for personal stuff, I outright delete it when I'm taking time off from my phone. And I tell people before I go, I'm like, if it is not a text or a call, I'm not seeing it till I get back. So that's, your license, only contact me that way if it's an emergency. Otherwise, it can wait. And that's really helpful because even without the notifications, I'm in such a habit of checking those apps. Like, I know I've talked before, I have such a solid morning routine that sometimes I'll come in, sit down, start to work, wonder why Slack is so quiet, and then realize it's a Saturday. And I just carried in my weekday routine into the weekend. And it's the same when I'm on my phone, or I'm like, oh, okay, I should like start checking work apps now. And so not having them there to click on can be really, really helpful.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you mess up and click on it, then you'll see all the notifications and then you'll like have to look at them.
Exactly. And then it's in your brain. And even if you X out immediately, it's already in your head. Your brain has started that mental switch over from, I don't owe anyone anything today, to, oh, I have things to do. Oh, someone DM'd me. I need to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And those little tiny signals, notifications, seeing the app, seeing a message, can really add up to make your rest time less restful. Do we have anything else to share about rest? Do we all need a nap, maybe?
I had a chat come in, so I'm trying to keep one ear open, but also help her.
Gotcha. Well, I think that we're all good. Let us know, how do you know when you need to take time off? And what are some of your best tips and strategies for really disconnecting from work and taking that very, very much needed rest? So, all right, see you next week.
See ya.